Hi everyone, my name is Misha. I'm an animator at the studio ED Films, and I'm here to show you just more about animation, about style and color. So today we're going to learn about line expression and color theory in your scene, in your characters, and in your background, and also about combining the two. So this lesson will be mostly about style and color. So let's get started. So my teacher, when he was teaching us about old art, Renaissance art, abstract art, he was teaching us about different lines can have different expressions. So for example, this line over here, this straight bold line, it symbolizes confidence, because it's bold and it's, straight, and and this line over here, it's skinny, so it's like it symbolizes kind of like weakness because it's skinny and it's easy to break. This line over here, it's shaky, and usually it like shows nervousness. Like, I think artists who are nervous or have a nervous personality, they end up drawing quite shaky. And my teacher, he was telling me that you can tell who a person is. Like, you can see a person's personality just by the way they draw. So let's say if you're like a soft person, you'll have very soft and round like drawings, If you have a sharp personality, you would draw very rough with like rough edges and stuff like that. So he was just telling us that lines like this where, I even did it here, like it's open-ended, it's not connected together, it's unfinished. Like, that's basically what it symbolizes, like something unfinished, something without really an ending, or like there's an opening. And if there's color around it, it seems like the color can like seep through. So that's what that means. And then this line over here, it's like sharp edges, and here this symbolizes anger. Like, when someone's angry, they draw like this, like with a bunch of sharp edges. And here's an example. I got some Snoopy characters from, not Snoopy characters, but characters from Charlie Brown. And here I drew Charlie, and this is kind of how I naturally draw, and it's like with very shaky lines because I'm kind of like a nervous person, so I notice I tend to draw with like shaky lines often. Here these lines are bold, so they seem like very confident, and here we have like sketchy lines, like some artists, they draw like this, and like even these are like open-ended lines here. And some artists, they draw very sketchy. Well, many artists do, but even this is an expression, even this, like, you can feel a person's emotions and tell their personality just by that. So here I got this image from Google. I just copied and pasted it. I didn't draw it, and it's like a picture of Snoopy, and you can see that this art style is naturally very wavy. Like, the lines are super wavy. So I thought that was really interesting that the artists that did this, they have their own line expression, their own style. And it looks really nice in art and in animation when you do this, because it has personality and depth, and it shows personality and depth. I'm trying to think of like a show that kind of has that, where it's not just like clean straight lines, but it has, you know, this type of like wavy texture to it. Like even here, you know, the lines, they're wavy, and it's just the style of the animation. It's really nice. Or just like the drawing. So here I will start explaining about color and color theory. So if you want an easy way to make your scene in your film look really good, like if you don't know what colors to choose, like you have your canvas and you have your animation and you don't know what colors to choose, the best way to do that is to just take colors that are opposite of the color wheel, and they are called complementary colors. And I'll explain later why this works, but basically colors opposite of the color wheel, they look really great together. Yeah, so here I have some examples. I have orange and blue, and it's just, you know, opposite. Yeah. When I do a scene in my film, I usually take a combination. Like I don't only take 2 colors, I take at least 4. So that's why I have 4 of them over here. And then even here, like you see, I already have that red green, and then I take this yellow purple, and then you just color with just like this color palette or this color palette, and like with throughout the whole scene, and it makes it look automatically really good. Yeah, so I'll show an example. But why is that? Or does that work out? Basically, it's because it happens naturally in real life. Like if you shine an orange light on an object, it will automatically have like a blue shadow. Like just here, you know, like the orange and the blue. Like if you do this in real life, you'll see it for yourself, and it's kind of really cool to see. Like you just shine an orange light on something, and then the shadow looks blue, and it's really cool to see. So I remember my teacher, he did this in front of us, like with a mannequin. Like he shone an orange light, and then the shadow was blue, and we were like, whoa. So yeah, I'd also like to mention that you know, there are some colors that don't look good together, so that's why it's really important to use this technique, you know, because you can easily make a scene look muddy and terrible by just choosing random colors. And here I just showed an example. I did this for my film. And here's just a scene from my film that's not really finished yet, but I used like purple and green, and here I used orange and blue, and I just used the combination, and it makes the scene look really nice. So here I tested it out, and I even used, you know, what I taught here, which is basically the orange is the light and the blue is the shadow. And you can use this for a scene if you want. You can make like the orangey looking color the light, and the bluish looking color the shadow, and it will look good. And it is advised to either use complementary colors, so colors opposite of the color wheel, or even colors next to each other. So it's okay to use like colors like the same color but different shades. So here I just showed an example of just basically the same color but of different lightness and darkness. Like you can use this too if you want to make your scene look good. Something to know is that colors, they look different on top of other colors. Believe it or not, these 2 squares in the middle are the same color, but on top of, you know, the background, they look very different. Like this greenish color here it looks lighter here, and here it looks darker. But if I take them out and I show you what color they really are, it's actually the exact same color. So keep this in mind when you're doing a scene. You color the background dark, for example, and all of a sudden your colors look different. That's very normal. Yeah, just keep that in mind, because it's super normal, and like don't worry about it. So here, colors can be used to create mood in your film. So a mood board is basically a collection of images of how you want your film to look and feel. So this is just from Pixar, it's from The Incredibles. And here, this is their mood board, and they planned out their scenes with colors. So if they wanted their scene to seem like sad or something, they would use like bluish colors or more monotone, bleak colors, you know, like grayish tones. Like even here, you know, like grayish, or trying to think of the word, like not as opaque, you know. And here, if they wanted the scene to be seem very dangerous, or like there was anger involved, they would make it very red. They would use very, very bold colors. And if they wanted a scene to seem mysterious, they would use a lot of silhouettes, and they would use like the contrast between dark and light, and like they would use like bold colors. So even here, as you can see, like even here, it's a bit mysterious, and it's just bold colors and like a lot of like shade and shadow. Like, and even here, you know. So yeah. And here, when you combine the two, when you combine colors and different line expressions, it has like an effect on the art in general. So for example, if you use a shaky and nervous line with the color blue, and not a happy looking color of blue, but like a very sad grayish tone of blue, it will give like the sense of like sadness, you know. And even texture can play a part in that. So right now I'm using this like rough texture, and it's like it makes things seem sad and bleak, you know, and rough. Yeah, so, and even here, when you use the sharp lines with the reddish color, it shows anger a lot, you know. And even here, when you use the bold and confident line with the yellow color, it shows like happiness and like confidence. So you can use this in your film to your advantage if you want like to express something, or to easily show the mood of a scene. And here is just an example of the background that I did for my film. And I used complementary colors, like colors opposite of the color wheel. And I just did a combination. Like this is basically all 4 colors. And it works great for the scene and the background. And the last thing I want to show is that you can use complementary colors to shade. So for example, you can take orange and then take blue, and then just like use it to shade, and it's like it looks nice, and there's nothing, it doesn't look weird or anything. And you can also use other colors to shade. A lot of artists do this, where they choose a color, and then instead of choosing a darker color to shade, they go somewhere else in the color wheel, and they take that darker color. So I got like a greenish color, and then they use that to shade. You can do this as well, and it's like advised to use like a color next to each other. So for blue I used green, but you can also do complementary colors if you want. So as an exercise, I want you to draw a background or a character and try coloring them using these techniques, using complementary colors. So for example, here with Charlie Brown, I can color him. Yeah, just like that. Just using complementary colors. So yeah, that's basically the exercise that I would like you to try out. And that's pretty much it for today. Thank you for watching. It was great and it was fun to teach you guys. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!